I decided to challenge myself to attempt to get a win in Warzone using nothing but the Diamatties. This video is going to show you the entire process I went through grinding through the games to try to make it happen. The first segment you're seeing now is the setup I went through every single round to simply start the challenge. As soon as I would land, I would drop my Glock and start looking for money, hoping I wouldn't run into anyone since I would not be able to fight them unless I had Diamatties in my hand. Sometimes I would find a floor loot Diamatti and I was allowed to use that, being that they are in fact Diamattis, but without my loadout that has them akimbo style, my chances of survival were much lower. My loadout has the riot shield only as a placeholder that would be dropped as soon as possible. I'll go over the rules in a second, which will explain what can and can't be done in the challenge. The loadout I went with for this challenge was the riot shield placeholder, deciding factor blueprint Diamattis equipped with the agency suppressor, 7.2-inch task force barrel, SWAT 5mm laser, salvo 30-round fast mag, dual wielded. Because I can only use Diamattis, if I ever die and go to the gulag, I have no choice but to capture the flag. Diamattis are not even in the current rotation, so I can't even get them by chance. I hardly got any flag captures, but they will be marked where applicable. This is an example of the strat that I used to try to get some flag captures. As you can imagine, this was unsuccessful most of the time, but worth a shot on some of the rounds. Off to the right, I'll keep track of attempts, kills, deaths, fails, and flag captures. Something I find interesting about challenges within games like this is the data behind how much work they actually take, so I can make an assessment at the end about how hard the challenge actually is, and if it's worth doing again for fun. I'll be rapid firing through most of the attempts since there's so much footage to get through, and slow it down towards the end in the last critical moments. By the way, the perks I used in this loadout were Double Time, Ghost, and Tracker. The Lethal has a throwing knife as a placeholder, and the Tactical is a heartbeat scanner. First, let's run through the rules of this challenge. 1. Pretty obviously, I can only use the Diamattis, but this has to be said. I've seen multiple YouTubers do Warzone challenges where they say they will only use a particular weapon, but then run over people and use the riot shield and lethals. This is where I disagree with the definition of what a weapon is. That being said, I can accidentally fail this challenge by doing damage to my opponent with something other than the Diamattis. I didn't even use the stun grenades because I could accidentally hit the enemy with it, doing a point of damage. With that said, if I damage the enemy with anything other than the Diamattis, I fail the challenge. Usually when this happens, I keep going to at least see how many kills I would have gotten, but if I were to win the game, the win would not count, and I'd call it something like an uncertified win. Vehicles are super dangerous when it comes to failing the challenge, and from what I found, enemies would throw themselves at the cars attempting to force me to fail the challenge. The enemy, however, is allowed to damage themselves with something other than the Diamattis. 2. The riot shield can't be used. As soon as I could when getting my loadout, I would drop the riot shield because if it deflects a bullet or I damage someone with it, then the challenge is failed. The riot shield is a weapon, and I'm tired of pretending it's not. 3. I didn't want to just camp the whole game and kill the last guy, so to certify the win, I would have to get at least 3 kills at any point in the match. That way I at least participated in the match. Okay, so now that we have discussed the rules and how to fail the challenge, let's discuss how it went. The first round I ever attempted this was promising since I got 5 kills right off the bat. No particular training, just going straight to whoever I saw to test out the power. Almost got the 6th kill, but then a sniper took me out while I had like 1 HP. I was surprised at how well they handled being used as a main weapon. But over time, I would realize that there's a very specific fatal flaw with using the Diamattis as a primary weapon. They ain't got no range. You have to be right up in your enemy's face most of the time or you are going to get taken down. Next, the biggest enemy to the Diamattis is the Diamattis. Many of my deaths were to enemy Diamatti wielders, and sometimes they would just hit me with the one burst. At the time I tried this, the meta was DMR and MAC-10 or Diamattis, so I ran into this issue a lot. And the DMR was a real nightmare. You know I said that the range was a problem? Well, guess which gun is dominating the ranged engagements? I actually lost multiple win opportunities because the last guy had a DMR, which required me to charge at them like a suicide grunt from Halo to stand any chance and inevitably just getting tapped down on the way to them. Because most enemies would destroy me at range, I was in a vehicle most of each match patrolling the area for fights that looked like the Diamatties would win. Except against a DMR, driving up to an enemy and surprising them by jumping out and immediately engaging was a solid strategy. One of the most reliable ways that I would get kills is due to the lack of brain cells many snipers have when they see a vehicle. They usually assume that because I was in a vehicle, they could take free shots at me and I was supposed to just run away from them because that's what happens pretty often. With these pistols though, I'm taking the sniper fights because if you don't hit the initial headshot, you're done. So when I got shot at by snipers, I immediately turned towards the shot to go say hello properly. I didn't think it would be difficult to avoid, but because I drove directly up to most enemies with a car, I had to be careful about not running them over. But no matter how hard I tried, some enemies were just magnetized to it. I would try to swerve away to no avail. And when I did hit them, it was frustrating because it was the same as not winning the match. The challenge would end there, and I would have to start up a new lobby and try again. And this challenge got grindy. I didn't officially start the attempt until I got the Diamatties because just running around with the fists out isn't really trying to win. But as soon as I found the pistol I was looking for or got my loadout drop, I went as try hard as possible and would try to improve my chances of getting kills and winning the round.
Oh shit, man, god damn.
This challenge was incredibly fun and forced me to try a different playstyle than what I was used to, and I thought some of the death comms were pretty hilarious. Halfway through trying to complete this challenge, the Diamatties actually received a nerf. Kinda sucks on the timing, and I could feel a slight difference, but I had to continue because the challenge was not completed yet. Not only did the Diamatties get a nerf, but also the DMR, MAC-10, and the other DMR. Even with this nerf, there has not been much of a change to the meta yet, and there really isn't a reason to change from a DMR at this point. It's still the same DMR and maybe has a slightly higher recoil, but does the same broken shit. The Diamatties are still perfectly viable, but I would place the MAC-10 and MP5 above it for the preferred secondary, and if you are seriously trying to win, it's still MAC-10 and DMR or some ranged rifle all the way. With this playstyle, it was much harder to win towards the end of matches because everyone had their loadout, ghost, and positions that would involve travel without a vehicle. Because I was playing solo, the self-revive kit was basically useless because every engagement was super close quarters. People didn't like dying to these pistols, probably because they are pistols and should lose to real guns. However, that's not the way COD works. They make it so you can really get a kill with any weapon, and sure, a meta comes out with what's decided to be the best guns, but at some point the meta always shifts. But we haven't really seen pistols be viable in Warzone yet, so it's interesting that these are the first to really stand out. Here's a few reasons you should try this challenge. The win is harder, thus feels more rewarding than a normal Warzone win. The death comms are hilarious as you are usually surprising people. Driving around the map scouting for fights that you can third party or have an advantage in is an effective way to have a higher KD game. In COD, the attacker has the advantage, whereas in some games it's the other way around. When you're really close to an enemy, it's easier to get around them and to move in difficult ways for them to respond to and track. It's fun to limit your options, and even though it was grindy, I was finding myself laughing as I was running around being shot at with nothing, desperately looking for a default Diamatti to just fight back. I actually could escape a lot of these situations because you run pretty fast and are a decently hard target to hit with your fists out. I don't have much more to say about the Diamattis, so from here I'll just put some music over the highlights until we're at the winning match.
I don't wanna fight anymore. Just turn around and leave me. The tear in my eye drops on the floor alongside my speed. My knees are drenching in the blood I feel just to get in. When I look around me, everything I had went up in flames. My lonely way I never pray to God anymore. I'd rather no one hurt me. Redemption, I have waited for you to come and drown all my sin. My knees are drenched in the blood I spill just to get in. When I look around me, everything I had went up in flames. Everything I had went up in flames. My lonely way.
I thought this part here was kind of funny because we were kind of playing a game of chicken to see who would go for their loadout first or who would get out of their vehicle first. In a normal game of Warzone, I probably would have just let him get his loadout and see if he just wandered away to let him get my loadout. That's just kind of the playstyle that I have. But because I was trying to do a challenge, I felt like I had to grab this kill. So if you made it this far into the video, congratulations. And if you're looking for more challenges, I plan on doing more challenges like this in the future. So please hit that subscribe button and then I'll catch you in those videos. For the rest of this match here, I'll just give you my live, unbiased opinion or recap of what I was thinking this last round here. I didn't think that this was actually going to be the round that I was going to win. Right there on that last kill, I saw where the cluster strike was coming from, so I just kind of wandered over there looking for him, assuming he was going to be in the bushes, which he was. Found him, took him out pretty easy. Drove around a lot with that truck that you see on the mini-map chasing me around. I think that might have just been a parachuter coming in from the gulag at that point, so I just quickly swooped in and grabbed that kill. This guy with the truck just kept chasing me for like the whole match. You'll see just the whole rest of the match here. He was just constantly chasing me around. I've been seeing this a lot. Also, almost ran over that guy. Literally did not see him at all and just almost accidentally ran him over. So this round that I actually won. Almost failed it. Very, very close, but he knew that he had to get out of the way to save the challenge. So let's see, I looted this guy. Yeah, the other truck, I've been noticing in a lot of the games I've been playing lately in Warzone, right at the end, people are driving around in trucks. It seems to be a pretty good strategy from what I can tell. And here you can see I literally go down to 1 HP, one shot, as close as I can get to losing the challenge, but still keeping the dream alive. Tried to plate up here. Truck tried to ram me. I saw that on the mini-map. Plate didn't actually register, so I just got in the truck and drove off. My truck here was starting to get really low, really wounded. I wasn't even noticing it was getting that low because I actually just recently swapped it out. So I got my armor on and my truck was looking like it was in pretty bad shape here. It's getting to really low HP. As you can see on the mini-map, there's 3 trucks, so me and another guy are driving around in the big trucks, and then there's that white truck there. Right as the gas is starting to close it out of the circle, you actually see there that somebody hops into that truck and grabs it. So we got 3 trucks here for the win. One of us 3 just driving around the trucks are about to grab this win. So all of us really don't know what to do in a situation like this, and we're just kind of driving around, kind of basically playing chicken to see who's going to get out of the truck, who's going to start engaging first. I got the short straw here. I got the weakest truck of them all. So I'm thinking my truck's going down. I'm looking for where I'm going to have to hop out, what rock I'm going to have to go to to try to seek some kind of cover. But just driving around here, I actually get kind of lucky. As I drive forward, it looks like one truck engages the other, whether I can't really tell if he crashed or if he threw some kind of explosive. But then these last two get into a firefight, allowing me to third party the last guy. He takes some shots at me, but I get behind this rock and it looks like he just runs for the truck to try to run me over. And that was his mistake giving me the win. So that was my Diamatties only challenge. All of the different attempts and kills and deaths and fails and flag captures that I got along the way as I attempted to win Warzone only using the Diamatties. I like to do challenges like this. I'm going to try to do some more challenges like this in the future. So please subscribe if you like the video, hit that like button, let me know that you want more challenges, and I'll see you in the future challenges.